and welcome back to episode 2 of The Closing Table. I'm Kyndal, your lender bestie with Apex Lending.
I am Kayla. I am a realtor in South Carolina and Georgia with Epic Realty.
And we're super glad that you stuck around after the first episode and are here with us again. So props to you, besties. Don't mind our very cluttered table setup that we have here. Our table is just like our lives, completely filled to the brim, and we're just rocking with it.
Yeah, and sometimes you need your emotional support shrooms.
I love our emotional support shrooms. Like, we just need something like little cute and silly just to...
I love them.
You know?
So if you're watching right now, we have 5 emotional support shrooms and we need names. So comment below some names for our emotional support shrooms.
Yes. So I don't know. Do we need to like go based off of like their appearances? Like we have this little cool guy.
Let's just showcase our new shrooms real quick.
Yes.
So we've got him, right? And we've got a little blusher here.
Yeah.
She's super, super fun. Yeah. And he's a baby.
Yeah. Oh, he's just adorable. A cute little happy baby. And what else do we have? Cutesy with the lashes. I feel like she needs like a super like baddie name.
She definitely does. And then we just got the smiley. We got him here.
Yeah. And they're just happy and
they're happy-go-lucky and they're here for you just like we are.
Yes.
So comment below 5 names. We're gonna write them on the bottom and we'll let you know what names
their
we
identities.
chose. Absolutely. Everyone needs a good identity.
Yes. So today, we kind of teased about it last time. Today, we want to talk about conversations in this industry.
Yeah.
All the conversations, the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. The ones that are really hard to have, the ones that are really fun to have, the ones that we have that our clients don't always know about. And yeah, so let's just dive right in. Off the record conversations.
Off the record conversations, that's a good one. Because y'all may not know, but that's kind of how these conversations start and how deals start.
Mm-hmm.
So there's never a time, especially if you're working referral based, there's never just a, hi, I'm sending over this client to you.
Right.
I really hope that we can work together. It doesn't happen like that, especially if you've already built a connection with the person on the other side. And I mean, rather that's another agent, another lender, anywhere in the industry. So that conversation is typically like a, hey, girl.
Hey, girl. Or sometimes we'll start our conversations off with bitch. Could be good, could be bad.
It could. And then, it's that type of conversation. Then it just kind of goes from there. Rather it's good, it's bad, it's client related, it's deal related, and we just need a reprieve and kind of talk about what the hell.
Or we just need to cry.
There's a lot of that.
There's some tears.
One thing we don't really talk about, though, and conversation based, but not really, is those silent times.
Oh my gosh, that nonverbal time.
That nonverbal. You're just in the car.
Yeah.
No radio on.
Yeah.
Don't want to hit any
just existing
too much. Yeah.
Yep. Sometimes I'll have those and I literally will be driving home in complete silence and just like, I guess, go on autopilot because I'm like, I leave my office and then I have like an hour drive home.
And you can't remember how you got there.
I don't remember how I got there. Like, I don't remember driving there. And I'm like, oh, damn, this has been a day.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
We actually also have a special guest coming on today. Meet Binks the mortgage doggo.
He is very regal. He's very dapper, and he's also here for you.
He is always here. He, he rolls his eyes at annoying underwriters, and he sighs really heavy every time a new email comes in, and it wakes him up from his slumber.
He looks bothered, but I promise he's not.
He's having a great time.
Okay.
So he's just gonna hang out with us here while we talk about conversations that he hears all day long.
He does. Binks, do you have any conversations you want to talk about?
Oh,
you okay?
Sweet little ting.
You okay? All the information. So let's kind of dive right into the conversations that really stick out in your mind that are really hard that you've had to have.
Oh my gosh. So obviously one would be, having to call a client that is very motivated and very ready in their minds to purchase, but their numbers don't work, whether it be income issues, debt to income ratio issues, lack of funds, credit profile, credit issues. There's a lot of things that can hold up a mortgage process. So when I have to call these clients and it breaks my heart every time. Like literally my heart will fall into my butt Like,
It does. I
every
start having heart
time.
palpitations. My palms
Yes.
start sweating.
Yes, mom
Yeah.
spaghetti, all our
Yeah.
everything.
And right
S
before I make the call, I'm literally hitting it. I go,
Oh my
"Ooh."
god, I don't want to. But yeah, I mean,
And it's
it's
not that we don't want to, it's that we don't wanna have that conversation
we feel everything our clients feel.
or more,
Yeah,
or more,
yeah.
because we have to take in all the information from every single angle, decipher it,
Yes.
break it down, put it into something that's a pretty envelope to deliver it.
Yes.
That's a lot of pressure.
Yes,
That is a
it
lot of pressure.
is. But look, pressure makes diamonds, so
It does.
but, it's never a fun time to have to call a client and say, "Hey,
Yeah,
unfortunately, due to the information that you've provided at this time, we won't be able to pre-approve." I don't ever like to have those conversations, and one thing that I tell all of my clients that I'm not able to pre-approve at that time is, "It's not a no. It's not a no, it's
mhm,
just a not quite yet, but here's what we need to do to get there."
right.
And when clients are motivated and they listen to me and they, follow the instructions and the path that I lay out for them that is very, very strategic, then you get to the point where you're pre-approved.
Yeah, and so some hard conversations that I've had to have, especially recently, the biggest ones are when you have a buyer, they're pre-approved and they love this property and they get into it, right? And they make the offer, they sign the
Mhm.
contract, and then you're in that due diligence period.
Yep.
In the due diligence period, we don't tell you, but there is so much pressure in that due diligence period. We don't tell you that because it's my job to stress on your behalf. But, a
I
lot of
like that.
things have to happen within that due diligence period. And one of them is the inspection. And the
Mhm.
inspection is the most important part of the entire
Yes.
transaction. And if you are listening and you are ever about to buy a house, get the inspection.
Always.
Even if it's new construction, don't
Always.
believe just a blue tape walkthrough will be suffice. Order your own home inspection. But that is one of the hardest conversations I have to have is when they have the home inspection and we get the report back and everything fails. I mean, the house is
Mm.
beautiful, but they put lipstick on a pig. And
Yes.
you're like, "Oh my god," so you're sending it to your client because ultimately it's their decision.
Right.
And they come back to you because they don't know what that means.
Right.
And so you're reading it and it's fail, 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 fail,
Mm.
all the way
That
from
hurts.
all the way from plumbing, electrical, the main components,
HVAC.
the HVAC, the foundation. Like I have seen it all.
Mhm.
And so that's fine, right? So we can go back to the seller, we can negotiate and, we can ask for X, Y, and Z to be done.
Mhm.
The worst part of that conversation is when the listing agent comes back and says, we can't do that.
Oh.
And it's really hard when you have a first-time home buyer on an
Mhm.
FHA loan
Yes.
because it's not gonna pass.
Yeah,
It's
let's
not
talk
gonna
about that for
pass.
a second. It's not gonna
Yeah,
pass the appraisal.
yeah, it's not gonna pass, and once you have to call and tell your first-time home buyer who's
Mhm.
got 3 months to vacate their property because the landlord is selling or
Mhm.
whatever, they just had a child, so they've got a 6-month-old, and there's a lot of things moving, and they don't know what direction they're
Yeah.
going in, and then you have to tell them, "We're not gonna be able to get you in this property
Mm.
because it's not gonna pass, and instead of
It
wasting
hurts my
any more
heart.
time, let's go ahead and get you out."
Yeah.
That hurts because you hear the detriment in their voice.
Right. I mean, it's despair. I mean,
It is.
it's heartbreak.
It is.
You fall in love with a house, and I can say this as a person who just recently bought my second
Mhm.
home last year. You know, you fall in love with a house and you start thinking of
Yeah.
all the ways you're going to decorate, who gets what room, and
Yep.
all the memories you're going to make for your first holidays
Yep.
there. And it's very easy for your mind to go there when you find a house and you just absolutely fall in love with
It
it.
is. And something similar happened when we bought our first or actually our second home.
Hmm.
Um, we bought it or we were under contract to purchase it. We
Hmm.
did the home inspection. And I think this is why this conversation is so hard for me
Hmm.
because we went under contract, we did our inspections, and we actually thought everything was fine.
Hmm.
Nobody caught until we had the septic inspected. And
Yeah.
the septic inspector said, have you checked into that foundation? And we were like, "No, like, what do you mean?" I was like 22, 23 at
Yeah.
the time, so I don't know what's going on.
Right.
And so we went and had the foundation looked at. It was $25,000 worth of work.
Mm.
Had to be jacked up, new walls poured. It was a lot. It was a lot. And
Oh.
so that conversation that we had with that agent, and she was amazing,
Oh.
really was. And thank God we were able to cancel that contract, go back,
Hmm.
renegotiate. We found someone that did it a lot cheaper, thank God. But I remember that first conversation,
Mm.
and that was really where it all started for me.
Heart sinking.
That was where it all started for me, and so
Yeah.
now you know how much we care and
Yeah.
why.
So, and that's another thing that comes into it is like, is it procrastinating or do we just care too much?
I think it's that we care too much.
Mhm.
And a lot of people from the outside looking in, I think they would say, "Well, you're procrastinating on making that phone call."
Yeah.
No,
Like,
no, trust me. I if I had a magic wand and I could force my body to say, "Okay, I'm going to call such and such,"
right?
and
Well, and not only that, I will go to when I'm reviewing an application and it doesn't look good and it doesn't look like
mhm,
I'm going to be able to pre-approve. I know I struggle with spending way too much time. Not, I guess, I don't know if you could say like spending way too much time or like wasting time,
mhm,
but I try to run the numbers and run the
yeah,
scenarios a
yeah,
million and 10 different ways
yeah,
to see like, okay, well, can we make it work if we do this? Can we make it work if we do that? And I hate that.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna change that though, because if there's a way, I'm gonna find it.
Exactly, and I think me and you had a deal like this where it wasn't
Mhm.
us procrastinating on calling the buyers and explaining we were gonna have to push back closing, remember?
Mhm.
But me and you were on the phone, and I knew they were at work, and me and you at the same time said, "We're not gonna call them until we solve this." Because
Yes.
I don't at the same point, I also don't wanna stress you out if it's unnecessary.
Exactly.
If I can figure out a way to say, "Hey, I've still gotta call you and
Mhm.
explain what happened, but don't panic," just let's
Yes.
just preface the conversation, "Don't panic. I found a solution. I just have to tell you
Mhm.
everything that happened." It really makes it a little bit better to digest.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I noticed too when I have those conversations, if there's a problem, I find the solution
Yeah,
and I call the client and I say, "Hey, we had this little hiccup, but before we get into it, it's already been taken care of."
right,
So
right.
that way it's you're prefacing with something positive,
Exactly.
and that also I think builds the trust
Yeah, it
between
does.
us and our
It
clients.
does. And I think that's what separates us from us and them.
Mhm.
It just is what it is. We care a lot.
We're like their parents and they're our little babies
We
and
are. We are. But yeah, I don't think it's procrastinating at all. I think it's that we just care a lot.
Yeah.
And we rather do everything in our power to be able to save the deal first.
Yes.
And then at the last possible minute, if we can't, then I'm going to call you. And then after I call you, I'm going to cry.
Yeah, as
I
soon as
am
I'm
going to
hanging up
cry.
that phone, I'm just gonna sit here with my head in my hands like,
Yeah. And it's
just
funny because I'm really good at being able to, when I'm having that conversation with the client, cut off that emotion
yeah,
inside.
yes.
But the second I hang up that
Trauma.
phone, oh man, it's rough.
Yes.
It is rough.
Our trauma helped us in a couple ways like that, though.
It did.
We're able to just cut it off and be normal.
That's what we're calling it. Normal.
Like, normal-ish.
Normal-ish.
Functional.
Sometimes
Functional.
I wonder what people that are not in this industry do with their trauma.
Right?
What do y'all do with your trauma? If you're not in the real estate industry and you're just listening for funsies and shits and gigs, what do you do
Wha
with your trauma?
how do you process your stress? Because I do it in mortgages.
Man, look at our fingernails. It's so
Right?
bad.
Oh my god, I don't even wanna show my nails on
Look,
camera
look at
because I
that.
just pick them all off if they're not done. Yeah.
My cuticles are so bad.
I
I'm just like,
same.
did you see me earlier?
Just yep, ugh.
Yeah, story of my life.
Even when we're not working, we're sitting there thinking about work and, like, just, you know,
Yeah.
biting the
We
nails
had to
and
pause earlier because I had a call.
yeah,
Yeah, it just
it never stops.
it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop, but that is a conversation for another podcast.
Exactly. What about conversations that feel harder than they used to?
So it's funny that you bring this one up because I actually put this out on one of my calls last week. I think it was
Mhm.
last Monday. And was like, I just want to hear from you. Like, what are some conversations that people are having now that are harder than they used to be? And by used to be, right? That's a kind of a
Mhm.
broad range.
Yeah.
So, last year, 6 months ago, 5 years ago, however long that you have been in the world,
In the
in the
biz.
biz. So, what are some conversations that you're seeing that are a little bit harder?
It's a conversation I have at least weekly with everyone all the
Yeah.
time. And we're going to say the two magic words: interest rates.
Ugh.
For someone who loves what they do, I'm so tired of talking about interest rates. I get
You
so
in the
tired of
wrong
it.
business.
I know. No, yeah.
No, you're in the right
I think it's more
spot.
so the conversations that come from all the misinformation about interest rates and how they are made up or how you get yours
Yeah.
for your specific mortgage. I have clients call me every single week, no lie. Well, I heard from my neighbor down the street that interest rates are supposed to drop or that interest rates have already dropped. What do you mean we're still at 5.75. And listen, in 2026, after COVID and everything, I mean, we're never going to get back to the twos and threes, I don't
No.
think. Not in our lifetimes. Would be nice. Would love that.
God, I would love that.
My bank account would love that. But it just, this is where we're at right
Yeah.
now. And the problem is there is so much misinformation out there about interest rates and what's happening in the market. And just because your neighbor down the street got a 5.325 or whatever it is, doesn't mean that that's going to be yours, because the interest rate is really made up of your entire financial profile.
Yeah.
So there are so many different factors that go into it. Are you a first-time home buyer? How much are you putting down? What is the LTV on your purchase? I mean, there's so much that goes into it that
Your
I can't even.
DTI.
Your
I mean,
DTI, the amount of reserves you may have. There's so much that goes into it. And, I can explain that till I'm blue in the face. But sometimes people just don't get it. Because I'll go into great detail at lengths about what all this means and how it works.
mhm.
And at the end, all I get is, so can I get 5.325 or no? Let's do an application and see. Let's just look at everything.
Because you don't know till you know.
You
You don't
don't.
know till you know. So, fair.
Yeah.
Fair. Some of the conversations that I'm seeing are mainly from sellers.
Really?
Yes. So you got to remember back in when I started in like 2021-ish times, right?
Mhm.
COVID, everybody saw what was going on during COVID as far as interest rates,
Mhm.
homes flying off the market,
Homes getting overpriced or
bidding wars,
yep.
20, 30,000 above asking. So we got accustomed to that somehow, even though that
Mhm.
was only a very small portion of,
Yeah.
real estate history.
Right.
We got accustomed to it. And so same thing with interest rates. We got
Mhm.
accustomed to those 2 and 3%.
Mhm.
But sellers got used to not having to worry about, a lot of showings or marketing the home or getting the home show ready. There was a lot of times where I'd put a home on the market at 9 p.m. and by 9 a.m. I've got 3 offers sight
Yeah.
unseen. That's not the case anymore. And so a
Mhm.
lot of the conversations that I'm having are, why has my home been on the market for, 3 months and I have no offers?
Mhm.
Or I've only gotten 12 showings or whatever.
Mhm.
And a lot of times it's because buyers now can be picky.
Yep.
I hate to say it that way, but they can. If you look at the marketability and you look at the time on market, days on market, especially in the CSRA, specifically the Aiken County area,
Mhm.
have went up significantly, even
Yeah.
in the past, 6 months. So it's something that you kind of have to look at. You've got to look at days on market. And that's, where it goes into having a great real estate agent who
Mhm.
can look at, okay, let's see how quickly homes are selling, not only in your county and your city, but also in your neighborhood.
Yes.
How your cousin,
Refine it
yeah, your
as
cousin 3 doors down from you just sold his house 6 months ago. How long did it take? Did it
right.
sit for 221 days? Did it sit for 8 days? Did it sit for 21 days? And
Mhm.
not only that, because you can find that readily available on the
Right.
internet too. And a lot of people will say, well, my cousin only had his home on the market 19 days.
Mhm.
Let's look at why though, because there's a lot that goes into that. And these are the harder questions. So like some of those
Mhm.
factors would be, was he offering substantial closing cost? Was it priced under the market? Was he giving some type of incentive? There's a lot of things that can go into that.
Yeah.
So, or was it somebody he knew? So, I mean,
Could
at
be
that
that too.
point, yeah, I mean, 18 days on the market and you knew somebody that wanted to buy it and they swooped in and that was
Mhm.
it. That can really be. So, there's a lot of things that can kind of skew that number. But again, this is why you get a really good real estate agent to call the listing agent and, hey, what happened?
I have a question.
Go for it.
So, what do you do when you have sellers that are just gung ho? Like, you tell them after doing all of your research and your due diligence on everything, let's say we need to list this. It would be good to list this house for 325,000.
Mhm.
And they come back and, oh no, we want to list it for much more than that. We want to list for at least 380, blah, 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 blah,
Mhm.
whatever. And you have these conversations with them, but they're like die hard. No, I'm listing for 380.
So then I compromise, and my compromising is a little bit different. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not like, well, let's just compromise and meet in the middle. No, I'll say, okay, let's put the home on the market. Let's give it 2 weeks, 30 days,
Mm-hmm.
some figure that we're good with.
Yeah.
Let's get some showings in. Let's get some feedback from potential buyers.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what the market is dictating, and let's go from there. So if we're getting, and I've had this issue come up quite a
Yeah.
bit. And I will use that tactic. And it's not really a tactic because it's really what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So if you put the home on the market at 325, I think it should be listed at 300. But I say, let's give it 2 weeks,
Yeah.
to 2 to 3 weeks. And I've gotten, let's just say, a dozen showings.
Mhm.
And all of the feedback is saying home is overpriced, home is overpriced, home is overpriced. It's no longer just me.
Right.
This is saying, hey, these are actual buyers in the area looking at homes that are in your
Mhm.
price point, your bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, what have you.
Yeah.
But they are saying, hey, from what I am seeing, this is priced too high. It's priced too high. It's priced too high. Or there's this issue with the home that's dictating me not wanting to purchase it.
Yeah.
Or, they can tell you a lot. So that showing feedback, is very, very important.
Yeah.
And I use it so much because it's no longer just me or my opinion. The market does not lie. That's one thing about it. The market
Yep.
doesn't lie and numbers don't lie. So yeah, that's exactly how I deal with that.
I love
Yeah.
that.
And it works because it's
Yeah.
no longer me giving you my opinion. This is, hey, this is
This
actual
is the
feedback. This
factual
is what's
data.
happening. Right. And we listen
Yes.
data.
I love some
We
data.
listen data.
Listen, a spreadsheet hates to see me coming. Plug and play, baby,
I love
all
pie
day.
charts.
Oh, I
Just
do
give us
love a
pie
good pie
charts. I
chart.
do. They're
Yes.
so cute.
Right. Especially when they're color coded. I love that.
Oh, it's the best. So those are kind of the conversations that I'm having
Mhm.
and kind of how I finagle
Mhm.
and make sellers realize, and not really make them realize, but
Help
it's
them
helps
realize.
them realize, hey, this is what I mean when I say this, or this is really what's happening, and I hate it. A
Yeah.
lot of times I do hate it. It's very unfortunate that we're not in the COVID times because, man, those were great.
Don't get me started.
But it was a bottleneck that we were in,
Mhm.
and we're no longer in it anymore. So it's really just educating, and that's
Yeah.
really what comes down to it.
And also, we don't do delulu around here.
We don't do Dulu.
We don't do delulu.
So kind of based off of that, how are you navigating your end of things with the interest rates and those hard conversations?
Okay.
So, kind of what tools are you using to navigate those?
Yeah. So usually when I have these conversations, for example, a client who's already pre-approved
Mhm.
and, they've got a general idea of where they're at, and they'll come to me and say, okay, I know you quoted me a 6.25% or 6% interest rate, but why can't we get it down to like mid to low fives?
Mhm.
And so I'll go into the conversation with them and show them, okay, if based on your loan parameters, your financial parameters, your credit score, DTI, assets, income, all the different things, if we want this particular interest rate, it's going to cost X amount in points.
Mhm.
So then I go into, asking those questions about what's more important to you, less cash out of your pocket when you close
Yeah.
or lower monthly payment over time. And depending on what the answer is, that's how I kind of structure that. So if it's more so the client wants, well, I really don't want to drain every single cent out of my bank account. I really don't want to use all the money that I have saved up for the interest rate to
Right.
buy it down. Then I'm like, okay, well, let's kind of meet in the middle. See if it makes more sense to buy down your rate by $200 as opposed to $1,800 or
Right.
whatever the numbers are. But if it's, I've got $60,000 in the bank, just
Just roll.
burning a hole in my pocket. Like, I don't really care. I want my monthly payment at this amount. I want my interest rate at this amount. I don't care what it costs.
Yeah.
So then I'll go in, I'll price it out, and I'll see exactly how much it's going to cost based on their loan parameters for that specific interest rate. I'll give them the numbers. And one thing that I really love that I offer to my clients is I nerd out so hard over these. I think this is something we talked about the first time we ever met.
I grilled you. We'll talk
Yes.
about that.
Yeah,
in a
we'll talk about it
minute.
later. But I have a program that I use and it's called Mortgage Coach, and they are customized mortgage presentations. And oh my God, they make my nerdy heart so happy. I love them. So I can go in and I can show the client, a few different options. It's
Mhm.
basically a total cost analysis, showing them, okay, here's where your numbers are going to be at if we just go with the par rate, not paying anything in points to lower your interest rate, not getting any credits back on your rate. This is exactly what it's going to look like. And it shows the differences if you do choose to buy down your rate, if you choose to get credits back, lender credits based on the rate, all the different things. And it really kind of breaks down the difference short term and long term of this is what it's going to cost you right off the rip.
Mhm.
And then this is how much it's going to cost you over the next 12 months. So I try to be super thorough with that and show everybody their options and then let them decide what's most important to them.
Yeah.
So
And that's just open communication. I mean,
Yeah.
really, that's just all it is to it. And
educating.
educating.
Yeah.
And that's why you have us.
Yes.
That's why you have us. And
Yeah.
that's why it pays to not just go with the first person rather it be the mortgage side
Mhm.
or the real estate side.
Mhm.
You know, it pays to really just kind of shop around. You shop around rates for everything else. Why not shop
Exactly.
around for real estate agents and lenders?
Exactly.
It makes
Shop
a
your
lot of sense.
rate. Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
definitely shop your rate. Oh,
every
Lord.
every single person you talk to is gonna be able to offer something a little bit different.
Yeah.
So whether it's you need better numbers or you need a better personality fit, it's okay to interview us to find out if we're a good fit for you. So, one thing I think I wanted to close out this episode on with was the closing table confessions.
Ooh!
So, I want to start doing a little maybe once a month doing our closing table confessions.
Mhm.
And I think I'd like to kick it off with a rookie mistake that we made early on in our careers.
Ooh.
So if
Ooh.
you have one of these, please drop it in the comments. Let us know because
Absolutely.
I want to know.
And don't lie. Don't
Just
say, "I'm perfect. I've
right.
never made a mistake in my career."
We
'Cause
all
yes, you
mess
have.
up. That's
Yes,
how
you
we
have.
learn.
I personally, there's not another real estate agent in my family.
Mhm.
So when I got into this industry, I didn't know anything. I
Mhm.
didn't know jack from
I didn't know my ass from an interest rate before I got into this
exactly.
industry.
So yeah, there were definitely some mistakes that were made, you know,
Mhm.
and there's so many like levels, there's so many different categories. You're gonna mess up.
Yeah,
You're
you're
gonna
gonna
mess
make a
up.
mistake.
But the difference is we learn from it.
Exactly. I'm gonna put you in the hot seat though. You get
Oh
to go first.
hell.
Let's hear your
Oh
closing table
hell.
confession.
Okay. So my very, very, very first deal I did as a little baby agent.
Mm-hmm. No.
Yep. It was a sweet little older lady. God. And I hope she's doing okay. I
I
hope
think about my
she is.
clients like that too. Like my way back in the day clients. Like I hope they're doing
I hope she's doing good. But she was
good.
selling her home and it was actually an estate. It was her mother's home. She was selling it and the buyers were purchasing for investment property. So they
Mhm.
were going to use an angel investor for hard money.
Mhm.
And so I completely fumbled and thought like, "Oh, great. So it's your money." Right?
Mhm.
That's kind of how I looked at it at the
Yeah.
time. You know, it's your money, you know, you've already got it because he was very close to this angel investor. It wasn't just a like, "Oh, yeah, you know, it's just hard money loan,
Mm.
no big deal." He was very
Well, not only
close.
that, a lot of times investors when they use hard money, it gets presented as a cash offer.
And it was presented as a
Yep.
cash offer, and it was. And so because it wasn't going through a bank, I did not verify.
Verify the
I did
funds.
not verify funds. And so I took it at word. I took it at face value. And we got to the closing table and we weren't closing because there was no cash. There was no cash. And so
Mm.
thank the Lord that my seller was amazing. And she was like, you know, I understand this can't happen again.
Right.
You need to get your funds in order. And so
Get your money up, not your funny up.
and so fun fact, it was actually also that investor's first time ever investing in any type of real estate.
Wow.
So he also did not know. He was under the impression that the angel investor was wiring the funds in, and so we were both kind of
Oof.
yeah. And so it was a hard lesson learned for both of us that day.
But guess what? Now I bet you verify funds every
I
single
verified
time.
3 times. I verified 3 times, and if I
Yep.
have to go back and look at it again, I will. I
Mhm.
will just to be sure that number didn't change overnight.
Oof. That's rough.
It was, but the good thing is, like I said, we had an amazing seller. She
Mhm.
completely understood that, you know, he was new to this. I was also new to this.
Mhm.
And 2.5, I think it was like 2.5 weeks later, we ended up closing. And that was one that I took a lot of notes on. It
Yeah.
was so I always give my buyers a Ten Commandment Bible of
Yes.
buying a home, but I now have mine. You know, 10 commandments of selling real estate.
Right?
Thou shalt verify funds.
Oh my god. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I
Underwriting
think I
nightmare.
had only had my license, like, 2 weeks at that point.
Oh, bless.
Yeah, and that was a quick close because it was cash, so we were
Yep.
closing in 2 weeks, so I think
Yep.
all in all, it was, like, a 32 days that I was
Mm.
licensed.
Bless your poor little
I
baby.
know.
Bless her heart.
I know, it was rough, it was rough. Heart
Oh,
palpitations,
yep.
it was rough.
Oh, I hate that. I hate
Okay,
that for
you
you.
next.
Yeah, let me go. Okay, so my closing table confession. Let's see. I think I had only been licensed for like a month and a half.
Mhm.
So, and also preface all this to say that when you're going through the test and the education and stuff,
They
like
don't teach you shit.
they don't teach.
They teach you how not to get sued.
They teach you. They do teach you a lot of information. So when I was
They do. I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
I can't speak on the realtor side because I haven't ever done that. that education course or the test.
I got
But
something to say to that, so just keep going.
so when I was going through all of my loan officer education and that vigorous test that I was so nervous about, and once I passed it, I was like, oh my God, I'm literally going to be the best LO ever. I know everything about lending and this is going to be awesome. Once I got started, I was like, I forgot everything but fine dining and breathing.
Yeah.
Like, but it doesn't teach you about, the ins and outs day-to-day scenarios.
Yes.
That just comes by learning. So my rookie mistake was not having the confidence to say what I needed to say
Mhm.
and be firm with an agent who was pushing for a pre-approval for a client who
Mhm.
was not ready. And, I didn't know how to have those hard conversations and
Right.
say, hey, this client is not there yet. This is what they need to do. They need to make sure XYZ is completed before I'm comfortable issuing a pre-approval. Because one thing about me, I'm not going to send out that pre-approval letter unless I am 98.9% sure that it's
Right.
closing. There's still a 1.1% chance that
Because anything can happen.
appraisal stuff, like whatever. But I'm gung ho. Like I'm not giving out a pre-approval letter unless I know that I can get that client into that home.
Yeah.
So, and that's to protect my client. That's to protect my agents. That's to protect everybody in the transaction because we don't want to get all the way through and pay for an appraisal, an inspection, earnest money, all the things, and then something come up in underwriting that I should have made sure was taken care of
Yeah.
before we even got pre-approved, and it throws the whole deal out of left field.
Right.
So I was having a situation where, I was a baby loan officer and this agent was just, they were pushing every single day. We need this pre-approval. I want this pre-approval. I need to get this commission check.
Mhm.
But I didn't know how to say, whoa, bro, like back up off me. For one, I've
Right.
already told you, the client needs to do XYZ. We've got some stuff we need to clear up with their taxes. We need to make sure we have this much in reserves. This is going to be a tighter file. It was also down payment assistance, which we can talk about more in depth later. But anytime you have down payment assistance, it adds a layer of risk to
Mhm.
that loan.
Right.
So if there are multiple other layers of risk, down payment assistance isn't going to work. So I was as thorough as I was as able to be, as I was confident enough to be, saying, we need to do this and we need to do that. But it was every day, where's this pre-approval letter? It'll be fine. Just send it over. And I didn't know what to do because I'm literally just a girl. I'm quite literally just a girl. And I didn't know what to do. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to send the pre-approval letter and I'm just going to tell them like, hey, anything could happen. I don't feel as confident as I want to feel that this
Mhm.
is going to close. But to that agent, it didn't matter. Sent the pre-approval letter over. Client went under contract, paid for the earnest money, went through the inspection process, paid for the appraisal.
Which you don't get any of this money back, by the way. The only thing that you can possibly get back is earnest money. But a home inspector is not going to refund you.
Right.
And an appraiser, 9 times out of 10, is not going to
If the
refund
appraisal
you.
has already been completed,
Yeah,
yeah,
if the
you're
work has already been done, you
yeah.
ain't getting that money back. So really, you're trying to save them
I'm
money.
trying to save them money. Well, everything that I was worried would happen that I had communicated in a very scary way, it happened. That client didn't close, and she was out like $1,800 between all of the different
Yeah.
costs that she had already put into. And that was a call that I was dreading more than anything. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm gonna keep it 100% real. That agent cussed me for all I was worth.
Really?
Cussed me for all I was worth. How could you let this happen? And da 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 da. And in that moment, I was like, you know what?
Never again.
I'm never going to let someone talk to me like this
Yep.
again. And I'm going to say, well, I mean, I told you right from the beginning, this is what could happen.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, when this agent was cussing me for all I was worth and telling me how awful I was and how could I let this happen? It clicked like a light bulb for me. And I just decided, okay, I am no longer ever going to let anyone talk to me like this again.
Yeah.
I know I did what I could, and I pulled out as many stops as I possibly had in my pocket for this client. And at the end of the day, the file wasn't strong enough.
Yeah.
And I let that agent know, like, hey, everything that I said I was worried about happening, it happened. And this is why I don't feel comfortable issuing a pre-approval without being sure that
Mhm.
we're going to make it to the closing table. So
And
that
maybe that hopefully, not maybe, hopefully, that was also a learning curve for that agent too. maybe they will learn to trust the lender a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of pushing. Because look, at the end of the day, we don't work for free. We all want
Of
to
course
we all
not.
want to get our commission checks,
But you
but
wanna do it
not
correctly and ethically.
and not at the expense of our clients or their
Absolutely not.
emotions. I mean,
Absolutely not.
that one specific loan file, and it's been a couple years now. It's been several years now,
Yeah.
and it's still that, like, I still think about that.
Yeah. And we have to sleep at night.
Mhm.
I can't just say, "Oh, well, send over pre-approval. We're gonna do whatever, and, come hell or high water." Just
Yeah.
I mean, I've had to sleep at night, so
Oh, and I definitely cried on the phone
I'm sure.
with that client. I mean, I got emotional right along with her, and I just couldn't tell her enough how very sorry I was that it ended up like this. But it's one of those rookie mistakes that we all make, and we have to learn from. And now I am very, very clear with everyone involved.
Right.
Like, this is where we're at. This is what we need to do. This is what we can and what we can't do.
Yeah. And, they always say you learn more from the negatives than you do the
Hmm.
positives.
Yeah,
Every time you mess up, it's not a fail. It's a lesson learned.
exactly. And we're humans too.
We're humans.
And we put everything we've got into this. We put all of our energy, time,
All those eggs in that
emotion,
basket.
all the eggs in one single basket. And some of the eggs are cracked.
Most of them are cracked.
Most of them are
Most of
cracked.
them are cracked, but they're there.
But I definitely want to hear all of your closing table confessions. So I want to hear about all the rookie mistakes that you may have made early on in your career or whenever. And so drop
And
them in
what
the
was the
comments.
lesson learned? I wanna know.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I wanna know what the lesson learned is.
Yes. And how did it make you a better agent or industry pro?
Yeah. Yep. Or did it scare you so much you said, "Absolutely not, I'm outta here."
Right. It happens.
It does. It does happen.
It takes a strong, slightly mentally ill person to stay long term in this industry.
Yeah. So, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up.
Yep.
I think this was a very informative podcast. A little bit of fun, a little bit of sass.
Yep, I love it.
And next week, we are gonna talk about
Imposter syndrome and how real it is.
It is so real. Do you feel like you're an MLA?
No, most days I just feel like Ricky Bobby. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know what to do with my hands.
Most of the time, I'm like, "Oh, well, let me call." Oh my god, that's me.
Yeah.
That's me.
Like, I became the adult that people look to.
I barely feel like
I became important at work and it's ruining my life. No, I'm just kidding. No, but
No.
imposter syndrome is definitely so real. And it's something that I know I struggle with. I know you struggle with it.
I think everyone struggles with it to a certain degree.
So-
Everyone struggles with, "Oh crap, this is what I wanted to be, and I'm here. What do
Yeah.
I do with that?"
How am I
do I do with
doing
that
a good
career?
job?
Yeah.
I don't even know how I'm doing
Yeah.
this. So think on it for next time. If you have any examples that you want to drop in the comments, let us know. And we will see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye. You ever that old
Like on period.
the early 2000s nostalgia, like when you can't do that with phones
You'd be
anymore.
like, and that's on period.
But can I try it?
Yeah.
I don't want to slam it too
It's
hard.
okay.
But you just remember back in the day when you was arguing with your man or whatever.
I
on
don't
the
even
phone.
hear it no
I ain't even
more.
trying to talk to you anymore. You know what? Bye. I miss that.